Oh, that's better. Hey, how are you doing, guys? If you're doing well, if you had a nice day. It is going to be kind of quick, I think. We'll see. But tonight we are following... Hello, kitty. Tonight we are following the previous presentations that we had during the week. Before we are talking about stepping out of our comfort zone, of the sunk cost fallacy, which is basically how to avoid getting trapped by the comfort zone. Today we are talking about learning. And learning is definitely a way to expand and challenge our comfort zone and go further. Can be kind of intimidating. Sorry for the dog barking if you hear that. Anyways. So today we are talking about how to learn. Previously during the week we talked about Pareto's law, which is the 80-20. You will see that tonight we'll talk a lot about that. Basically we are applying Pareto's law to how to learn anything house related basically. So I have 10 different steps in no specific order. But if you do that, technically it will drastically help you to learn pretty much anything you want. It's not only art related, but let's apply that to art for the sake of the presentation. It's basically how to learn as efficiently as possible, like 90% of any subject that you might be interested in learning. Again, we are applying Pareto's law, so with 20% of effort, which is what I hope will be contained in that presentation, you can achieve 80 to maybe 90% of the results. We are not talking how to master that yet, just how to learn and how to get started. At least up to a point where basically you feel comfortable using that in your process, in your pipeline, and then you are kind of on your way towards mastering that. You are basically in the groove, in the flow, and you can pretty much expand on that. Basically, you get the initial momentum, which is the hardest part to get, and now it's just about maintenance and keeping up with the momentum. So, the first step, or the first point rather, it's basically, spoiler alert, a lot of them might be common knowledge, but some of them might be a bit more specific, so stick with that. The first one is to join some communities. It might be some groups on Facebook, some tags on Instagram, some Discord groups. Discord is very good to find some communities now. Facebook is still good for communities too. Some forums, if you are still of that kind of person. Some clubs that might happen online or in real life. And generally, you start from generalist to more and more specialized. So let's say you want to learn 3D. Maybe you check on Facebook some group about like 3D passion, 3D enthusiast, 3D artist, something like that. Might be possible to share your work, to know some techniques. You have some threads about some tutorials, some new bits of knowledge, some new technology, stuff like that. Then let's say you want to specialize into VFX, for example, at some point. You start to look for some groups about VFX. So maybe smoke, explosions, VFX passion, VFX artist, lighting artist, stuff like that. Then maybe you want to specialize even more. You need to learn Houdini, so you find groups about Houdini on your software. So it's even more specialized. It's not about just 3D. It's not just about how to render VFX. Now it's about how to use Houdini and make crazy stuff into it. So you might get even more specialized tutorials and stuff like that into it. Then let's say you want to further specialize with another stuff. Now that you know Houdini, you need to learn Redshift or Octane or Clarice or Renderman, something like that, or Cycle. You go into a specialized group like Octane Render on Facebook, very active community, Redshift community, Clarice community, stuff like that. Again, get even more specialized knowledge. So this way, as you go from generalist, you learn the basics, get interested, and the more you dive deeper, The more you go to something more specialized, the more efficient it might be for you to learn that, and the more it will allow you to basically get knowledgeable in that very, very specific niche. So those are public groups. Sometimes there are some clubs, like some unions and stuff like that. It's a bit more selective in general. In art, it's kind of rare. There's not that much private companies aside from union, like people work in movie industry and stuff like that. In that case, you need to be a pro in the industry to get into that. But otherwise, maybe there are some private communities behind a paywall. If they are worth it, it might be good to know that. For example, let's say you are doing some Learn Squad tutorials. You pay a bit higher, you have access to the community, to the student chat and stuff like that. Same, you are doing a mentorship with a lot of people. Sometimes you have like a student-only Facebook page or Discord group where you might find very, very motivated and specialized people just like you. So this is basically the first point, find a community. This is the most obvious one. Generally, if you're watching on Twitch, you already have some kind of community. If you're joining on Discord, join the Discord down below, by the way. You will be joining a community. It will be kind of a generalistic community because there are artists, like 2D artists, 3D artists, VFX people, cloud artists, and stuff like that. But it would be more specialized because we are teaching people everything that school basically don't have the time to teach you, which is mindset, how to negotiate a salary, how to be happy, how to be thriving artists. They are teaching you the technique, we are teaching you all the rest, basically. Second one now, sorry, now that you have a community, you need to ask questions. It might seem very stupid, I know. But a lot of people, and I know that a lot of people watching those videos were kind of introvert, kind of shy and stuff like that. Sometimes we fear asking questions. We might think that people might be laughing at us, mocking us. We don't want to appear as novice. We're kind of insecure. Guess what? If you are not asking the questions, you're keeping yourself away from fixing that problem, basically. So you're keeping away from improving. Worst case scenario, you create a fake account and you ask those questions this way. But basically, there is something you can try to do for yourself. If in like 15 minutes you are not able to find a solution by yourself by searching on Google, just go to a group and ask the question. If the question is very obvious, like, how do I save in Photoshop? In that case, it's kind of not a stupid question, but it's an obvious one. And generally, something like that, you can pretty much find the answer in the manual on Google by just typing the question. That's a mistake that a lot of students at the beginning are doing. It's like, hey, how do I change the size of the brush in Photoshop? How do I go back? How do I change that layer with the layer mode and stuff like that? I mean, every time you are a teacher, you are like, dude, ask Google. Check out the manual. That's easy. But as we are teacher, we need to be patient and explain that to them, of course. But if a question is a bit harder, like, hey, I have that bug in 3ds Max. How do I fix that? Maybe asking in a group might be better. First, you search on Google, because if you have a problem, there's a lot of chances that other people got that problem before you. But if you're still kind of stuck, just go in some groups on Facebook, groups on forums, on Discord, and ask the specific question that you have. Generally, someone might be able to answer or to troubleshoot with you. Of course, if you're asking questions in a community, be sure to also, if possible, contribute to that community. Of course, we said previously that you better be the dumbest people in the room. Kind of applies for groups too. So if you are a beginner and everyone is a pro, you might not be able to contribute yet, as you are learning pretty fast thanks to that, thanks to the fact that you are not the smartest people in the room. You're learning a lot. At some point when there are other people that are newcomers, blueberries, you might be able to help them to contribute to the community too, build a nice reputation for yourself, and it is a virtuous circle. You're helping, so people are more willing to help you. Yeah, you need to ask questions. Don't stay with an unanswered question. It's kind of stupid. And basically, my mentor was always telling me that something like unanswered question equals delayed problem. So fix the problem right now. It's an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to avoid maybe a lot of troubles later. Next step. This one, a lot of people will say, hey, I know that, but very few are doing that. You need to go and participate to some events related to what you want to learn. It might be industry meetups, industry events, masterclasses, free demos on Discord, on YouTube, on Twitch, stuff like that. And by going there, basically, you get an opportunity to have a super pro, like a big person in the industry, to teach you something. And there are a lot of chances that these people know more than you do. So basically, every time there is like a free masterclass, free demo, free webinar on Discord, stuff like that. I know that on the CG Core Discord channel, there's a lot of demos, especially on Mondays generally. When there's an artist streaming in the Discord chat while just working on his stuff. Go watch that. It's free. Some industry meetups might be free. Some other ones might be paid. Same with masterclasses. Honestly, it's worth it. We will have a video about industry meetups at some point, but this is the best place to, one, learn, two, collect some kind of network, and three, get a job. If you don't get a job, at least you get invaluable piece of feedback, you know, to improve and further go further towards getting your first job. This is 100% worth it. Stuff like Promised Land, Trojan Horse was a unicorn, IAMAG, if it would still exist. There was Industry Workshop in the past, Firestarter, stuff like that. It's incredible. IFCC. There is another one in the US that I completely forgot about the name. Anyways. And let's say there are no events nearby. If you are living in a big city or nearby a big city, you can ask in your groups to maybe organize a meeting. It can be just, hey, let's go do some... Let's say you live in New York. There are plenty of chances that other people from New York are in your group. Send a message like, hey, New York people, do you want to do like a plein air painting next week, next Sunday, for example? Hey, Paris people, you want to have a coffee at this place? We talk about art, we share our portfolio, stuff like that. This should be free. It might interest other people that were like, shit, there's no meetings or events in my town, but they are not thinking about organizing one. This is an opportunity for people. So this is the third part. Fourth one, kind of important. Again, a lot of people might know it's important, but very, very few people do that because a lot of people are like, nah, I can learn by myself, no problem. I don't need a teacher, I don't need a mentor, I don't need some tutorials, I can learn everything on my own. No, at some point when you're on your own, you start developing bad habits, you start reaching a plateau, you start getting trapped in your comfort zone because you reach your full potential on your own. And you need some people better than you to basically teach you how to break that glass ceiling on your head to go further. It's all about not getting complacent. So the next one is about finding a mentor. Don't pick a random dude on the internet. Try to pick someone that has already achieved a lot in the industry. There's no obligation for this person to be the absolute best in the industry because sometimes they are very expensive and very busy. And sometimes they're not even doing mentorships. But mentorship with people that are kind of well established in the industry can save you so much time. It's like climbing a mountain. There's a trail already made by that person, and you know that this person has reached the top. So you can either follow your own path and maybe reach the top or not, maybe struggle a bit, or follow the tracks of someone who made it already. And at least you are sure that it will work. Or just using the same techniques, same process, same mindset, same kind of pieces. And if everything goes well, technically you should have similar results. About finding a mentor, you need to vouch for that mentor, so you need to be aware of few criteria. This mentor first needs to be better than you, that's a given. Don't pick someone that is as good or even worse than you on the subject, there's no point. You want someone that is able to see what you are lacking in your game, in your inventory of skills, basically, in order to expand beyond that. And by someone way better than you, this person will also be able to basically see potential mistakes that you might make in the future and tell you how to avoid that before they happen, because they have some kind of a more long-term vision than you. This person needs to have achieved something bigger than you, that's a bit the same of being better than you. This person basically needs to have achieved something in the industry you want to join, or in the activity you want to join. Let's say you want to learn VFX, don't pick someone that is doing character design, this has no point. This person needs to be willing to teach you for few in return. By few in return, I don't mean nothing. Sometimes it might be money. But let's say you go to Jamaj Revive, you pay like $2,000 for mentorship. This guy is making so much money, and this guy is like basically the art director of Star Wars and The Mandalorian and some big movies at ILM. So of course this guy will be expensive. So $2,000 for the knowledge of that person for 5 weeks. It's kind of a gift, to be honest. It's not that much. And it's 100% worth it. But basically that person needs to be willing to teach you for something small in return. They are teaching. Their time is so much more valuable than $2,000 for 5 weeks. So of course, this is being willing to teach for few in return. This person needs to be reliable, like stable in its mind, in his or her mind. No addiction. This might be funny, and it doesn't apply that much to artists. Pretty sure some artists are addicted to alcohol or cigarettes, stuff like that, social media. But basically, if you're expanding a bit, like on the business side, there's a lot of people with a lot of money addicted to drugs, alcohol, and stuff like that. You don't want those people. Try to pick someone that is kind of clean. It's not something that you might know, of course, but just try to guess. Someone reliable, no addiction, clean hygiene, clean sleeping schedule, clean life, stuff like that. And more than that, you must be willing to listen, learn, and do what they tell you without arguing. They know some stuff that you don't. So if some stuff might seem a bit exotic to you, you need to trust them. That's why you need to vouch for them being reliable first. You must be willing to listen, learn, and do what they tell you without arguing, as you need to trust their process. And basically, if you really want to see if a mentor is worth it or not, you try the technique of your mentor for at least 3 to 6 months. If there are results, that's up to you to judge. If there is no result after 3 months, you ditch that person. Of course, you need to do the work. If you're not doing that, you're not working, even the best mentor in the world can't do anything for you. So don't blame the mentor if you are not doing what is asked for. But if you are exactly religiously following what the mentor is telling you, or even exceeding the demands, there's no return, There's no positive return. In that case, you are legitimate to ask some questions about that. But otherwise, if you're working for 3 months, something. R2GG, hello, first time in the stream. Nice to see you. Thank you. Welcome. How did you find out about the stream? Nice to see you. Yeah, that's about finding a mentor. Try to find the best ones that are still accessible. And if someone is basically not accessible, on the Callburger Discord, so oh nice, it's working. Nice. Nice to meet you. I was hesitant to post, but I saw there was some kind of promotion channel there, so I posted there. For the record, my name is Timothée Maton. I'm 27, almost 27. And I've been a concept artist in the AAA industry since 2016. Yeah, I'm French. I probably still have the French accent. I'm doing my best to make it as transparent as possible. But yeah, I've been working the AAA industry since 2016. I've been working for clients like Ubisoft, Quantic Dream, Netflix, NetEase, indirectly for Games Workshop and D&D. I'm currently working at Free Range Game. I'm gonna start in some other companies pretty soon. I've also been a teacher since 2017. Hey, nice to meet you. Oh, nice! Another French buddy! Bonjour, mon ami. Nice. If you want to chat after the stream, we can have a talk if you want. So yeah, that's about finding a mentor. And if someone seems to be inaccessible, like a big name on Facebook, on social media, you have nothing to lose at trying to send a message. You never know. There's still a slight chance that someone that seems inaccessible might answer to you. In that case, that's the jackpot. But don't be shy. Don't be thinking like, oh my god, this person will blacklist me and remember my name. If they don't answer to you, that's probably because they receive like 20 different messages exactly like yours every day and they just don't have the time. So in 2 days, they will have forgotten your name. So no problem about that. Don't be shy about that. Not hesitate to send messages to people that are really inaccessible. Like, I don't know. I won't call a name because it's not incentivizing people to message this specific person, but big art directors in big studios, big names in movie industry, stuff like that. Just give it a try. Worst case scenario, you don't have answers. Second worst answer, you get something like, hey, sorry, I don't have time to answer. That's fine. Then they forget about you. They won't blacklist you. Next one, something that is very cool. You need to get a body. Do you have any advice on finding an internship? If you're in France, Ubisoft is the place to go for an internship. But basically, you need to make sure that the company is hiring interns because not all of them are doing that. And basically, if you want to get an internship, the best way, it also works to get your first job. You need to have a portfolio that you share to them for your internship or for your first job that is kind of similar to what they are doing already. So let's say you want to go at Ubisoft. They are not doing some kind of, let's say they are not doing some kind of fantasy for juniors. So there's no juniors on Assassin's Creed and stuff like that. But there's a lot of junior on like Ghost Recon, Far Cry, The Division, stuff like that. What's the common point of all those games? It's kind of realistic, AAA, open world, post-apocalyptic, kind of modern. So if in your portfolio you have kind of something similar, like some post-apocalyptic, military, modern stuff, with already a realistic style, and you try to match their style, they notice that and they will basically see that, oh, this guy already kind of get how we are working. So this way, this person can be an asset to us kind of fast, because we won't have to spend like 6 months to train that person before this person is able to produce what we want him to produce. See what I mean? You show them that you are already trying to mimic their process and feed their mold in advance. This way, basically, you are reassuring them that you are a good pick, that they won't spend a metric ton of time and money and energy to train you, and you will start to make money for them pretty fast. This way they see your potential, basically. Does that answer your question, buddy? I love that emoji, by the way. Pretty cool. But yeah, in France, Ubisoft is your way to go. There is also, if you are a bit more on the stylized side, there is Ankama. If you are doing stylized work, Ankama is pretty good. I got a lot of buddies from my class when I was still a student who got their first job or internship at Ankama, the animation studio. So yeah, Ankama or Ubisoft, those are the two best places to start as a junior generally. There's also Ocelus Studio in Lyon. It's hiring a lot of interns. It's still in the cartoonish, childish style in general. Oh, nice. Okay, nice. So yeah, so next step, get a buddy. A buddy is basically someone who shares the same objectives than you or quite similar ones. It might not be, I want to be a concept artist, this person wants to be a concept artist. It can be someone like, hey, I want to be a concept artist, you want to become a 3D artist, we both want to work in the video game and movie industry. Let's work together and challenge each other. By challenging each other, it's not in the toxic way, it's just kicking each other in the butt like, hey, come on buddy, work with me. Let's do some voice chat to work together on Discord and stuff like that. You are talking about the same subject, sharing some tips and bits of information, like some nice videos you might have found. If you stumble upon my stream, you share them, you share that to your buddy. I'm like, hey, this guy is providing bits of knowledge. If you are finding some tips or some mentorship or some tutorials, you might buy them together. Split the price, because when you're looking for your first job, it might be a bit hard to pay for expensive stuff. So this way you pay both of them. You create a common account, you pay for that, and you watch it together, and you do that together. Stuff like that. You can also have daily or weekly appointment with your buddy and talk about how you are moving on, what are your struggles, what are your success of the week and stuff like that. This is exactly what I did yesterday. That's why I didn't stream yesterday. I was with my with one of my buddy. We were at the bar. We were having some small drinks and some food, and this guy wants to develop a business about overall life coaching and personal development. And I want to make some mentorship about art and stuff like that. We are both into different hobbies that kind of make money already, that we have in common. We both want to make money. We were both artists of the same class or the same school, so we have a lot in common. We just have some common goal, which is we want to be successful online and stuff like that. It's just that the way we want to become successful is a bit different. He's doing YouTube videos, I'm doing Twitch and mentorship and coaching. So yeah, we can share a lot of stuff. He was sharing some tips, some names of books. I shared some for him. We are doing that at least every week. And it's pretty cool because you have someone to get accountable to. So this way you're like, oh my God, my buddy is walking. I need to walk too to keep up with that. This is like a healthy competition. I don't like the competition term, but it's like working together in a very healthy way and supporting each other. Pick someone that is kind of at your level or a bit better than you. My buddy is way better than me on a lot of stuff, but I'm learning a lot from him, and he's kind of learning a lot from me too, because I'm bringing knowledge that he doesn't have, and he has way more knowledge that I don't have on other subjects. He's a bit more advanced than me because he started a bit earlier. But yeah, getting a buddy is very good. Next one. To learn something. About any subject that you want to learn. It might be ZBrush, it might be anatomy, it might be composition, it might be lighting, it might be Houdini, VFX, 3D animation. Oh, thank you for the follow. Bend over, honey. Nice to see you. Welcome to the tribe. Wow. R2GG, thank you, buddy, for the follow too. Feel free to join the Discord down below, by the way. It's not a competition at all to the Cold Burger Discord. But hey, we are building a community. If you want to keep informed, to chat with other buddies that are very motivated. We have a lot of French people, by the way. A lot of French people from a school in Paris that I've been teaching at. So if you want to talk to other French buddies, share the same goals as you can. Wow, 5 people coming, that's cool. Yeah, feel free to join the Discord. Plus, you get informed about whenever you are streaming, which is pretty much every evening. At least of the weekdays. Not that much on the weekend, but the weekdays. So yeah, pick about every subject that you want to learn. Pick the 3 best books and or tutorials. You can check out the most recommended ones on like Amazon, Gumroad, Teachable, ArtStation Learning, stuff like that. You might also ask students in school about the books that they got advised to read at the beginning of the year. It's something that happened a lot. So, for example, you want to learn composition. You might check out Framed Ink by Marco Mateus Mestre, which is like the best composition book ever. Then you might do the narrative concept art class on Learn Squad by Jama, which is absolutely fantastic. And then you might also do the visual storytelling by Roman Giordano, or find some tutorials about heavy illustration. Again, Roman Giordano is very good. I'm thinking also about John Sweeney on Learn Squad, which was a very, very good tutorial about keyframes and thematic design. It might also be the mentorship with Jama, which is amazing about movies and composition. But basically, you have the 3 best books or tutorials. Creative illustration by Andrew Loomis is amazing too. Yeah. That's just example. There are multiple best book ever. But generally, if you pick the 3 best, at least 3 amongst the best ones from 3 different artists, this way you have 3 different points of view about the same subject. And basically using Pareto's law, you are basically doing 20% of learning this. You're basically doing with 20% of the effort, learning 80% of the subject already. Then you can expand later. But at least you know 80% of that with the 3 best books. So this way you don't have to watch 50 different tutorials. It has some kind of diminishing returns over time. If it talks to you, then you can start to specialize and go from the general to the more specific again. Another thing you might do to figure out the 3 best books or tutorials is to check out art schools, like very, very good art schools like Art Center, New Edge in Paris, Scene Studio in Canada, FZD School, Artefix Montpellier, stuff like that. You check out their overall presentation, their syllabuses, and generally you know the table of content of what you will be able to expect during the years there. And if you are a bit smart, you can basically find out the books that they are recommending to read, or the videos or the tutorials or the software that they're recommending you to learn. This is a good way to figure out what to learn, what you don't know. You like a subject, but you don't really know what are the best ones because you're pretty new. You can figure out the most recommended tutorials on Amazon, Gumroad, Teachable. But you can also check out schools that are teaching that and what they are recommending themselves, provided they are good schools. Then you're applying Pareto's law to learn 80% of the subject in 20% of the effort. Next one. This one is a given, but take some notes in a dedicated notebook. Give me a sec. I'm going to pick up my notebook. Currently, for example, I'm learning marketing. I have a dedicated book about that. When you are learning a specific subject, if you can, pick a nice notebook. This is kind of nice one. It's like $10. It's not the most expensive. It doesn't need to be expensive as long as you kind of like the object and it's kind of sturdy. And you only write notes about that specific subject in the notebook. This is my marketing one. And basically, now I have almost 70 pages worth of notes about different books that I've read against the 3 best one in that subject. I'm going to expand on some tutorials and stuff like that. But you can do that for composition, for anatomy, with some sketchbooks, some drawing notes. Same with composition and stuff like that. This way, you are basically stocking your learning curve, your learning phase somewhere. You're outsourcing your thoughts in a book. And at some point, if you are not remembering something, as you have your notebook, you can just figure out what you learned without having to read everything again. You can just read the TLDR. For example, in the marketing stuff, if at some point I don't remember what the sales funnel is made of, I can check out secret number 6, the 7 phases of a funnel. That's pretty much it. If at some point I'm forgetting what, let me check the example. If at some point I'm completely forgetting about the 3 core market and desire, I have a page about that. And stuff like that. At some point I forget about how to teach a framework. I have a page about that. Teaching your framework. And so on. So taking notes is very important. This is a given. But some people are like, no, I'm gonna actively listen. I'm gonna watch and remember everything. It's kind of hard to remember everything. So outsourcing that to a notebook. It can be your phone. It can be some note-taking apps. I'm personally using Obsidian, which is fantastic. You can do some mind mapping. You can just do some Excel and Word if that's your thing. But basically, taking notes, you keep the tracks of your learning, and this will save you time when you don't remember something. Plus, you won't fear not remembering something. You will be okay. I can forget that. There's no problem because it's stored somewhere. So yeah, and on yourself in the street and everywhere, you should always have, that's my opinion, but you should always have something to take some notes. It can also be something to take visual notes if you are someone who draws. It can be a sketchbook, something like that. But you know, I always have like in my backpack, I always have a notebook with some pen. So I can draw if I want. I can write in something. It's like my everything notebook. So it can be sketches. It can be your phone to take some notes. It can be an iPad. It can be whatever you want as long as you can take notes and record something. Same if you have some thoughts. I'm often using my iPhone like, hey, I have this idea. Let's do this. I record that with my voice. Then when I'm back on my computer, I send it and I write it and I do it. But just a way to outsource your thoughts. Because you can't remember everything. Okay. So this one is a given. The next one is a bit of a smarter one. It's basically you check the existing formations and training about that. And you use them. So 2 ways. The first one is to get inspired by existing formations. So if you are smart, you are picking some formations in some nice art school, for example. So again, Art Center, California, New Age, Paris, Scene Studio, Montreal. I think it's Montreal. FZD School in Singapore. Artefix, Montpellier. Big school like that. If you want to check out which schools are the best, just go to the website called The Rookies and stuff like that. So again, shout out to New Age. Not sponsored, by the way, but I just love that school. They got #1 worldwide in concept art with their first ever graduate students this year. If you want the best VFX school, Art Center Montpellier is you go. If you want a very good professional school for pros to kickstart your career, go to FZD School and check out the program. You check the programs with the table of content for the years. And if you are kind of smart, you can figure out what you can learn on your own. If you are more on the self-taught side. And if you are very smart, something you can do is pick up the different schools that are all very good and see what is complementary in each other's program and make your own program thanks to that. That is like the ultimate program at the absolute mix of everything. Something else you can do that I do a lot of time is I do exactly the same thing with Learn Squad, some tutorials, because they have a table of contents. Sometimes you can even expand that and see the different chapters. And if you are smart, you can figure out which software they are learning, which tool they are learning, and you can learn it on your own. But sometimes getting some paid formation can be very good too. Oh, you said something? I also write notes of videos I watch here, but my problem is apply what I hear. What's the hard part? That's the hard part, and especially when I'm by my own. Yeah. Something that I'm trying to do on that channel, and that you should apply to, is to learn how to filter through the content that you're watching. Because something that you need to be careful of is those that video gives you like actionable advice. Like something like, do this specifically. For example, recently we were trashing some website talking about stress. How to handle stress as an artist. We did 3 presentations last week about stress. One for when you are stressed as a student. One about stress when you are looking for your first job. So you are not a student anymore, but you are not a pro anymore. And one about stress when you are a pro. And we're watching at the best articles that are #1 on Google, like how to handle stress as artists. And it's always stuff like, try to be positive. You need to relativize on things. You need to be happy. You need to sleep better and stuff like that. And it's like, dude, how the hell do I do that? This is not actionable advice. This is shitty stuff like just be yourself. Remember to breathe. You need to have actionable advice. Like do this, do this, do this. This is like having a mentor. This mentor needs to set you in a framework. Hello, Novel. How are you doing? This mentor needs to send you basically on a framework with actionable set of action, like a plan, like step 1, do that. Step 2, do that. Step 3, do that. That's exactly what I'm doing right now to learn. Step 1, find a community. Step 2, ask questions. Step 3, participate to some event with that community. Step 4, find a mentor. Step 5, get a buddy. Step 6, get the 3 best books or tutorials. Step 7, take some notes. Step 8, find the existing formations. Step 9, fishing nets. Step 10, hardcore mode. Boom, you have actionable stuff. So if you don't have actionable stuff, find someone who gives you actionable stuff, or try to establish a plan of action out of those tips. But if it's just like, hey, learning something's just hard work and dedication and passion and patience, like, yeah, true, but how do I do that? Where do I start to learn anatomy? Then there's someone like, okay, check out Hogarth, check out Force, check out some comic book artists to see then how they simplify the muscle. Check out Morpho for the posing and stuff like that. Now you have something. You want to learn perspective? It can be like, yeah, you need to train your eye, you need to draw boxes and stuff like that. No. Pick up Scott Robertson, How to Draw, and do everything in the book in the right order. It's hard, it's painful, it's ungrateful, but at least you will learn perspective. You want to learn color? It's simple. Pick up, again, the free base books about that. Color and Light, Edgar Payne. The last one, you can pick up someone like Ryan Lang or Nathan Fawkes. You pick up Color and Light, you go outside with the book, and you are like, okay, every page I read it, I observe it in real life. Once it's done, once it's understood, next page, I read it, observe it in real life. Sorry, it might sound a bit harsh, it's not the goal. I think he's snoring, by the way. So yeah, existing information, read the syllabus and get the books that I recommend, or do the perfect mix of the different programs to figure out your own perfect program. About paid formation online, it might be 100% worth it, to be honest. On good websites like Brainstorm, Learn Squared, Schoolism, it's pretty good. About Gumroads and tutorials on ArtStation, some of them are good, but I have this generic rule. If it's under 20 bucks, it's probably not life-changing tips. Between 20 and 50 bucks, it might be worth it. 60 bucks plus, unless this is a real scam, this might be very, very good content that might justify raising your price. Front LeBron tutorial, it's about 50 bucks. Carry changing. JAMA stuff. Every month's worth of JAMA's content is like 50 bucks. You learn that. Takes you 1 month to learn. It might be allowing you to raise your price by 50 euros. No problem. Per day. If it's too cheap, I don't know. Depends. A quick note on paid content. I know that when we are students or not pros, we don't have that much money. So we might be tempted to get that by other means. I won't say it's good or bad. It's just kind of a bummer that the artist is not supported. I'm not here to shame you. I was in the same path a few years ago. And some stuff are really expensive. So maybe you're like, I don't know if I should afford that or if I even can. I still need to learn. So I don't know. It's debatable. I won't tell anything about that. I'm not condemning people either for that, because maybe they don't have money, they just want to learn, and maybe later they will be able to pay for that. Whatever. But generally, when you are paying attention. When it's free, it's a bit harder to pay attention. Or else you need a lot of discipline. But when you are paying, you pay attention, generally. Unless you are surfing money, in that case, maybe a bit tougher. But I remember when I paid for narrative concept art by JAMA, and also the environment design by Maiche, and also the 3D code by JAMA. Or at the beginning of Learn Squad, it was 200 bucks at the time per tutorials. And I had to save on my lunch money when I was a student to learn that. It took me like 1 week and one month and a half to save enough money, plus using some of my savings to afford the narrative concept art and the 3D code tutorial by JAMA. And I remember that I was watching that so religiously just because it was costing me so much and I was so hungry just to watch that. Do you need to learn 3D if you want to be a concept artist, even if you're a character designer? I would say yes. Because 3D is the future. At some point you will do character design in 3D, like in VR and stuff like that. Character design is less susceptible to 3D, but 3D is still coming pretty hard. With MetaHuman and stuff like that, it might make the job of character designer evolve pretty fast, pretty soon. If you were telling me that you want to be a concept artist in environment or keyframe, 3D is mandatory, even beyond drawing skills, even above drawing skills. Character design, you can still do that with traditional skills, but 3D will be a definitive bonus for you. It will make it easier for you to communicate with the 3D team. Plus, you can raise the value of your work by doing that in 3D. Look at Alex Figini, for example, or Rest in Fucking Peace, but Mike Nash, for example. These guys were concept designers. You can also check Maciej Kuchara, Jama. You can also check Vitaly Bulgarov, Alexandre Ferrat. You can check those guys. They are concept designers. So working in 3D to do some kind of concept art. And basically, as their 3D is pretty clean, it can be reused already in 3D. So you save a lot of time for the 3D team. So you can increase your price because you are saving time. So you are saving money to the rest of the company. So do you need to learn 3D to be a character designer? Not. You must not, in 100% of the case, learn that. It's a huge plus. So I will say yes, you still need to learn 3D. That's my answer. In any case, it would raise the value of what you're doing. So you have all the interest in the world to do that. Just learn Blender. It's easy. It's free. You can do pretty much everything you need. You add some mega scans to it. If you have a bit of money, you grab an Oculus, even an old one. You learn Gravity Sketch. You're set to do wonderful stuff. Blender is love. That's so good. So yeah, so paid formation, they might be worth it. Brainstorm is worth it. It's a bit expensive, I know, especially when you're a student, but it's worth it. Learn Squared is definitely worth it. It's like $100 or $200 per tutorial. It's a gold mine. You can learn pretty much an entire job just with that. Schoolism is fantastic. There are some good stuff and some less good stuff, but overall, like the Nathan Fox courses and stuff like that is fantastic. So yeah, Brainstorm, Learn Square, and Schoolism, it's good. Gumroads and ArtStation Marketplace, you need to filter through it. To me, if it's under $10, it's kind of shit. Unless it's a pack of brush, something very special that you need, in that case, that's fine. Between 20 and $50, it might be interesting. Like a new technique or something like that. Above $50, unless this is a scam, which they are, it might be almost career-changing stuff. How much time to learn Blender in your opinion? 1 month is enough to have a good graph of the basic? Yeah, 1 month is enough. If you are... yeah, if you are spending like at least 30 minutes to 1 hour per day, every day, 1 month is enough. Yeah, no problem. Again, pick the best free tutorials. Find a community, ask questions. Participate to some events if you can. Find someone willing to teach you. Get some buddies to learn that with you. And pick the best free tutorials. For Blender, Jama, in order. Blender YouTube channel. Second, Blender Guru. Third, Jama for concept art. And then if you want to go to more advanced stuff, you can pick up Jet Saber, Florent Lebrun, and Dana Warrior. And you are pretty much set for that. Let's start with a Blender YouTube channel, Blender Guru on YouTube again. And then you move towards Jama on Gumroad. And then you go to more advanced stuff. At the same time, try to also use bridge and mega scans for the texture and stuff like that. And learn how to do box mapping. This is pretty easy. And it will save you a lot of time on the rendering and stuff like that. But learn how to model stuff first. Yeah, 100% novel. ZBrush and stuff like that might help you so much, especially if you have some creatures to do some orcs with accessories and stuff like that. It might be super good, and you learn the shapes and the volumes way better this way. Easier. Nope. You don't need UV as concept artist. You're just jealous. You're just jealous of having to do some proper UVs and proper unwrapping. Stuff like that. Anyways, next step to learn pretty much 90% of the subject pretty fast. The fishing net. Yeah, I'm creepy, I know. That's the voice, that's the soundboard, that's not me. Because I cannot be creepy, there's a sleeping kitty nearby. Next one. This is something you might not be aware of. This is called the fishing net. Basically, you go on social media, you create a new account, and you subscribe to only, I say only, pages related to what you want to learn. So if you want to learn 3D, if you want to learn Blender, you only subscribe to 3D pages and to pages related to Blender. Nothing else. No friends, no TikTok videos about people dancing on Rihanna, no Call of Duty or Warhammer stuff, no Sea of Thieves, no Twitch streaming gamer on that social media. Only what you want to learn. Subscribe to different stuff. Can be on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever. YouTube is good. This way you get just... Yeah, I know I love Sea of Thieves, but we are trying to learn here. If you want to learn Sea of Thieves, okay, just subscribe to only Sea of Thieves stuff. That's fine too. We need to play Sea of Thieves sometimes. We need to play that this weekend. But yeah, basically the subject you want to learn. And basically you get just completely overwhelmed by a deluge of information about it. And yeah. This way you get only surrounded by information about it. You absorb them. You can save them on social media, like on Facebook or stuff like that. Save the articles, you save the videos. And this way you are deeply immersed into that space. You get a lot of exposure about that, basically. Fishing net is very powerful. Just create an alt account on every social media. You can swap pretty easily now. And this way you get exposed to everything. It doesn't conflict with your friend's post, your kitty post, your World of Warcraft post and stuff like that. That's pretty much it. Oh, trust me, 3S Max, even when you have the best of machine, it still bugs when you start it. Okay, and the last one is a bit on the easier side, but basically it's hardcore mode. If you really want to learn deeply something and very fast, you can optimize your time to the extreme. And use all of your free time or the free bits of time that you have to learn. When you're on lunch break, you read a book. You listen to an audiobook. I love audiobooks for that because you can do something else at the same time. When you are walking, you listen to some audiobooks at the same time to learn the subject. When you are in your car or in the bus or in the subway, you listen to audiobooks, you watch videos, you listen to some podcasts. When you are going to visit your friends for a party, for the 20 minutes walk in the city, you listen to something or you read something if you can read while walking. Generally, you need to be careful about that. Just listen to something. But yeah. Is listening to Critical Role works? You're learning about a bit about D&D, I guess. I don't know. I need to talk about the first episode of season 3. I have a lot of things to say. But yeah. You just squeeze every bit of time that you have. And for that, audiobooks are fantastic. You can listen to them in your car and stuff like that. Basically, you can listen to stuff when you are busy. Stuck in the traffic, you can listen to some stuff. So every time you have some time where you are stuck, Don't have anything else to do. Just use it to learn. Every time I'm doing some concept art, like the design phase, it's kind of hard for me to listen to some stuff. But when I am in the rendering stage, instead of watching a movie, I just listen to some stuff. Because about rendering, I don't really need to think anymore. That's it. How to learn between 80 and 90% of a subject as easy and fast as possible. There you go. And now this is a war about 3ds Max versus Blender. Spoiler alert. Blender is winning. 3ds Max user are kinda in the denial stage right now of grief. Because anger first, like what the fuck is that shit? Now it's like denying, no, 3ds Max is still good. And it will be, yes, but 3ds Max might be still useful for this. For hard surface modeling and stuff like that, which is true for the moment, but soon enough it won't be. It will be, yes, maybe Blender might be a bit better on that point. Except the edition is like, yeah, can you give me some tutorials about Blender, please? I need to swap. And the resignation, it might be, yeah, maybe if I use the shortcuts from 3ds Max in Blender, the transition might be good. And at some point, it's like, why do I have to press S to rotate and R to scale in 3ds Max? I don't know. I've been doing 3ds Max for 5 years and I'm never coming back. Anyways, I'm gonna join the Discord chat if you want to come. Not to talk about 3ds Max versus Blender, please. But if you have some questions, feel free to join the Discord down below. You can basically join. And then down below there is the stream. There is a coaching waiting room. Then the free coaching. And you can join basically if you want to ask some questions. Today is Thursday, so I'm handling questions both about today's presentation, about more generalistic stuff. I still have like 25 minutes. So, yeah. Are you reviewing works? Yeah, if you want. In the meantime, as I'm waiting for people to join, if you're watching the replay on YouTube, as always, daily speech. Smash the like, smash the subscribe. Please join us on Twitch if you want to interact with that fantastic chat and participate with the... If you want to participate in the Blender versus 3ds Max war, Blender will win. And if you want to interact with the community, feel free to join the Discord down below. You can support me via whatever donation you want if you want. But the best way to donate and to support basically the stream, not to donate, but to support the stream, is to recommend that to other people that you might think might find it useful, basically. Sorry, it was not that much English. Recommend that to people you think might find it useful. That's better. Very tired. And speaking very baguette. How are you doing, Noel? Hello?
Oh,
Hello?
sorry, I was muted.
That's fine.
I have to mute myself on the stream. Just give me a second.
Yeah, you just need to mute the stream.
Yep. So, do I send the thing in coaching test?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So we're basically working on a moon station slash space station anyway.
Let's have a look. Oh, that's some nice line drawing right here.
Yeah, mine had to be mobile first. I can send you a bunch of my reps if you want to. But
Sure.
Overall, the idea was to have an ant base station.
Okay.
Up you go.
I'm gonna open Photoshop. Give me a sec.
Yep.
Oskog, welcome. I'm trying to learn environment and keyframe, and damn, it's quite hard. Some feedback would be great once in a while. Sure. To learn some environments and keyframes, 3D helps a lot for that. And for keyframe and stuff like that, I would advise you to learn the narrative concept art by Jama Jurabaev on Gumroad. And also the environment design by Maciej Kuchara on Learn Squad. Those two are very good as a starting point. And then there are the courses by, I think, Aaron Limonik on Learn Squad that are pretty good too. So let's have a look at the space station. I'm going to share my screen. Give me a sec. Can you see my screen, Norval?
I can, yes.
Perfect. Let's have a look at the Rev 2. Okay. Okay. So the plot is like a space station that can move, right?
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, okay. I think for something that needs to move, you can probably need a reference of an animal or something like that.
Yeah, I'm using ant references, but I wasn't going to spam the chat with like ant pictures.
That's fine. I was about to say some kind of turtle or something like that.
Oh yeah, everyone saw the turtle. I can maybe show you the 3D base I used.
Sure, sure.
There's a view on the other side, or maybe if you watch if you look at the smaller bots on the bottom.
Yep.
They're facing front.
Just give me a second. I'm gonna answer to Foscog very quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna show you the tutorials. Oh, let me share my screen, by the way. There we go. So, something that is very good for environment design. It's an old one. It's called... where is that? Intro to Environment Painting by Maciej Kuchara. It's a bit on the expensive side, but there is 18 hours of training. And this is Maciej. This is one of the only last remaining tutorial by dear Maciej. He's using Cinema 4D and Corona Renderer. You can pretty much use Blender instead. This one is very good. Narrative concept art, again by Jama. It's like the best tutorial I've ever done. It's so good. This one is good. 3D concept design by Jama on 3D Code is pretty good too. So this way you have keyframe with the narrative concept art, environment design. And then cinematic concept design is very good to run keyframes by John Sweeney. And more recently, sketching anything is kind of fun if you are still on the traditional side. And there is also the most recent one that is visual storytelling. We still need to give it a try because it's not out yet. But because it's Roman Giordano, I'm pretty confident. This guy is a beast. Bend over Honey. Why does someone get feedback in their work in a non-class setting? Online community. 100% online community. That's why I said at the beginning of the stream, you can watch the replay. But online community like Discord, forums, Facebook groups. You can join the Discord right there, down below if you want some feedbacks, by the way. But yeah, online community to get some feedbacks. Anyway, back to your work, Noel. So let's check the refs. Oh, that's a nice 3D base. Okay, so... basically, what do you want to improve on that? You just want an overall guess, or do you have some specific questions about that?
Well, is anything bothering you or that I could add? I would like to add some more like life to it as well. Even in terms of props that I could add on the bottom part.
Okay.
And yeah, if there's anything like you would like to tell me.
Yeah.
I'm not searching for anything specific since it's still like a work in progress.
Yeah. Do you have some specific requirement about the size of the thing, or does it need to be small or big?
We can't make it too big, but
Okay.
it doesn't have to be like very, very small.
Okay, because on the it's kind of hard to figure out the scale of the thing right now, because
there was a human figure, but
okay. Oops.
But the human figure is kind of the same size of the door, slightly smaller.
So something like this in terms of size?
Oh, definitely smaller.
Something like, give me a sec.
Like maybe 2.5 of the barrier or something. Maybe just 2 barriers.
Something like this?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Okay. So you need to have some kind of clues. First of all, I think the bridge right there is a bit steep. I don't exactly remember the architectural rule for stairs, but there is a specific angle that you should not exceed. And this one, if you are, maybe if there is some kind of robot that is rolling, you see some kind of wall-y stuff like that. This is like the worst wall-y ever. But basically this stuff, there's no way you can climb.
It's a French wall-y.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe having the bridge to be like a bit more like this. Might be a bit better.
Or maybe like cutting it in half and having another.
Yeah, or also, yeah, you can basically have something that is unfolding. You see, you have this first part, and then you have a second part that is unfolding like this. See what I mean? It would be basically something like you have this, and then you have a second part that is stuck in the middle right there, a bit smaller. That is unfolding right there.
Oh yes, I see.
And then maybe it's kind of doing this as if it was broken. It starts flat and goes up this way. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So you also need some mechanism to allow for that, of course. Because I'm assuming this thing is already unfolding once the space station wants to go back home.
Yes, I still have to work on unfolding the structure, the scaffoldings.
Yeah, you need to have some refs about the functionality and stuff like that. Of course, it's sci-fi, so it's kind of, unless you are Alexandre, it's kind of hard to be that exhaustive on the mechanical parts. But
we're not working with Alexandre, so that's fine.
Oh, okay, perfect.
But, yeah.
But yeah, thinking about that, I also think that with the big, medium, small rule, you have kind of the big structure right there. Let's use that in green. You have the big right there, like the head, the structure right there, or even the overall silhouette. The mediums are like the legs, this part, the bridge, and stuff like that. You have the small with the small robots, some of the cables right there. But I think it's kind of missing the very, very small stuff. This will be the one adding... yeah, the very small. This will be the one like adding maybe some scratches on the... I'm pretty sure you will have to render that, right?
Oh, no, we can render in 2D, so... But yeah, it's probably scratches and...
Adding the scratches, a bit of rust, stuff like that. It will help you on the scale. And some smaller screws and stuff like that. Don't put too much to make your stuff kind of overwhelming. But some very small detail like that might show it's kind of old, kind of used. It's not rusty, but maybe it's on Mars, so there are some dust on it. Some debris, yeah. The robots have probably been maybe there are some tracks on the ground for the small robots or the legs. Some dots. Maybe there are some other chamfers and smaller details on the windows. See what I mean?
Yep. I see.
And let's have a look at the refs that you have. Then there are the paints, like you see you have some red strips on one of the refs. Some of the refs you have some red strips. It's probably an American flag, right?
Red stripes, what do you see? It probably is, yes.
Yeah, some red stripes. So you can have some logos at some points. You already have them. But maybe some flags, some other companies that are sponsoring the event, stuff like that might be good.
I still have to work on that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the other point, also for the small details, you can add some other antennas that are more or less big. Might be kind of cool. And the other thing that I'm curious about is kind of the balance of the overall structure.
Oh, yes, I know.
See what I mean? There is this big head.
Yes, it is a glass structure, so
yeah.
maybe by rendering it might look lighter. But yeah, I try to reduce the size of.
I'm pretty sure on a technical standpoint it might work, but in terms just of visual size, and you see, you remember the composition
is really not helping.
Yeah, it's a bit flat, but you remember in composition course the balance that we had, as if it was on a scale. It's kind of tilting towards the left. Because there's so much element and there is just this one there. So maybe already with the bridge, it might fix that a bit to add as if it was some kind of peg to handle the weight. But maybe having some, I don't know, retractable arm right there in the ground or something like that. That you understand it's retractable. So if it wants to move, you don't need that. It might be like the wheels of a plane, for example. Just to hold the structure when it's stationary, but basically when it's moving, it doesn't really need it.
Okay, let me.
Or you can just add like some kind of wheel, maybe. It's just an idea. Same with the bridge and the scaffolding. Maybe you can add some wheels right there, so this way it's moving, but those wheels are kind of still holding on the ground. See what I mean?
Yep, true.
This is just some example. It's probably not the best design choice, but you get the point of different issues, I guess.
I mean, I can always try to see what it does.
Yeah. Or else you might also add something smaller to remember the tail of the ant. Not really the tail, but
the face of the ant is on the other where you're currently sketching. And the back was kind of like the abdomen part.
Oh, really? Okay.
But it's since I've chosen this point of view because there's a door. And I didn't want the door.
Oh, yeah. I see that on the 3D model, but we almost don't see it right now. So
I know.
Maybe just expanding that, making it a bit bigger this way. This way we understand. You can cheat on your framing by basically picking the tubes that you have behind.
Okay.
Those ones. Oops. Yeah, those tubes. They are the ones behind. And you either expand them or just move them. This way we see them.
I think I will just draw them on Photoshop. I won't.
Yeah.
And again, Blender, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in Blender, it takes like 2 minutes to like 30 seconds to expand them, but as you want. And yes, that's aside from that, that's pretty good. I think it's just about adding a bit of freedom, maybe on the cables. You see that some cables are like with some kind of veins like that.
Mm-hmm.
You can make it very small. This way it's not overwhelming. It might add a bit of difference.
Oh, yes. Okay. I didn't want to add too much because it was already pretty noisy. But...
Don't add too much, but it might be just some simple scratches like that.
Mm.
You're better at line drawing than me, but I think you get my point.
Nah.
Some kind of... Don't do that everywhere, but just at some point to make some paint chipping and other small details nearby the ground to see it has moved and that it's kind of roughened by the rocks. at the surface of the moon or Mars, it should be good.
All right. Well, thank you for your feedbacks and your time.
Anytime. Do you have any other question?
Do you think the props on the bottom are necessary, or should I add more?
They're kinda good, but I think we need to have probably maybe a small silhouette of a guy. Maybe you have a guy
Next to them?
Yeah, next to them, maybe fixing that.
Just hitting them. Blah.
Yeah, just to have an idea of the scale. Like just a guy with some blue clothing, some wrench. I don't know. Just trying to fix it or to repair something that is open. I don't know if you have to do that in your concept, but just indicate some scale. So maybe there are some kind of toolboxes nearby. That kind of indicate the scale of the thing.
Yes.
Just some human-sized item that we can identify clearly as human size.
Oh yeah, I wanted to like the eyeballs in the smaller ants are not like they're only temporary. I wanted to maybe add items in there, like floating around. Like on the back of the small ants, there are. Yeah, it's the spooky season.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe items laying around.
Yeah, because that's the problem in sci-fi. Generally, when you are doing something realistic, a door is enough to indicate the scale. In sci-fi, it's kind of harder because you don't know if a big giant mech can go outside, if a spaceship can go outside, or if just a human goes outside. You need to find other ways to indicate that. So yeah, I like the toolboxes, the small props. Maybe it goes beyond the subject, so tell me if it's too much. But maybe, yeah, adding this kind of tool, like this kind of bench, with some tools and some, basically a repair, almost a repair station, or a place where the robots are getting repaired with some parts and stuff like that. This way you add life to your scene. See what I mean?
Yes.
You had some kind of storytelling.
If I have the time to do it, I'm sure my teacher won't be bothered by adding stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's like the big shapes are like for the overall structure. The medium is like the subject itself, how it works and stuff like that. The small details are about the functionality, and the small and very small details are also for the storytelling. And
I do love storytelling after your courses.
Oh, thank you. And you see when, for example, you play Fallout 4. Have you played the game?
No, not Fallout. I'm sorry.
Oh. But basically there are some tools and some garbage and some stuff everywhere basically, and what is good about that is that just by looking at the props and the environment and the way that the tools have been placed, maybe there's still a pan on the grill or something like that, you can tell just with the environment, without the character, what the characters were doing before the big fallout basically. And that's just with storytelling, and they have a lot of nice references about bench table, repair table and stuff like that. Just in the let me check Fallout. Just the intros. Oh my god, I'm gonna get DMCA'd with the music. Did you see that place?
Yes. Oh, it looks like an old gas station.
Yeah, it's an old gas station, but you see, you have the bubble head, you have the weapons right there, you have the poster, you have the radio, you have the bed that is still not that bad, you have the broom, you have a bunch of comics, you have the alcohol bottles, you have so many, you have the ammunition stuff, you have a minigun right there. And you basically know that it was a gas station, and now it's serving as a house of someone, like a refugee living there. He repurposed the place and stuff like that. And yeah, ZD School has a very nice video about how to feel a place. But to me, the big lesson I got in how to feel a place was playing Fallout and Skyrim, basically, because they are so good at that. You see the way the tools are used. There's a screwdriver, a wrench, some stuff. You know that someone is probably outside, maybe smoking a cigarette or raiding or fighting some zombies. He left the place, but there are still some stuff ongoing, like he's repairing the I don't remember the name of that stuff, the bracelet that you are using all the time. There is a bubble head. It's like a big adolescent's room, basically.
Is it like a room in the game, or is it a cinematic only?
It's probably a room in the game. But it's just an intro cinematic with your mindset, but you see there's some bottles, some photos. So you kinda can already spot the personality of the person living there or walking there. I would imagine like an old guy smoking cigars and listening to old rock. I don't know. Some kind of old punk. But I don't know, it conveys a personality, and even though there is no character, because you have items that kind of gauge the size of a human, you can already understand that it's like 2.40 m maybe for the exo armor, but it's not too big. It's not a big Gundam. It's kind of human sized. A bit bigger, and yeah. So if you can think about that, if you have time, of course, this would be a nice bonus, I guess.
Yeah, I think I'll work on working more on the line tomorrow morning, and if I don't have time, I will pass on to colors. But if I do have time to make smaller props, like just even a fan, like the fan in the background is very cool.
Yeah, but it must not be everywhere, just in a corner. To add a bit of an anecdote might be good enough, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to tell the story of 50 different people in just one shot, it's too much. But let's say just you have the corner where the guy is repairing the robots, and there is one that is in bits just to get a leg replaced, something like that. It might be more than enough to add the small bit of interest and keep the viewer to watch it for a bit of a longer time.
Are you saying I have to dismember my kits right now?
For your robots?
Yep.
Yeah, you can dismantle at least one.
No.
It's to repair it, it's not to be mean. Hey, it depends on your time, of course, but you get the point, I guess. Anyways. Anything else?
No, I think that was it.
Nice.
What did I ask?
Cool.
No. But yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. At some point we need to talk about the Critical Role, the new season.
Yeah, there's gonna be a new episode tonight, right?
Oh, true.
I'm not watching this at 4
No. I have a mentorship at 4 a.m. till 8 a.m. so I won't be able.
A shame, but I will probably watch it in the subway tomorrow morning. So.
Yeah. Anyways, take care.
Tesla asked for feedbacks as well.
Oh yeah, if you want to come. Just go in the waiting room and we're gonna swap.
But yeah, have a nice evening, Tim.
Yeah, see you. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, hello?
Hey. Can you hear me?
Yeah, all good.
There you go. Oh my god, there's still the photo.
What photo?
The photo.
Which one?
You know which one.
Oh, of course I know which one. Of course I know.
Oh my god.
Why would I take it out?
I don't know.
It's just so good.
Okay. So what do you want to know?
So I put a little description of who she is. I'm wondering if, there's certain things that I can push further in terms of design, especially since, the general idea was to mix an owl into this. And I feel like, there's certain things that hint towards that, but others aren't very well done. And I feel like it could be pushed further.
Yeah, so let's try to figure out the owl clues. So there's the tattoo right there.
Yeah.
There's the helmet. There's this part. Oh, the goggles.
Very well Well done.
Nice. The goggles, I like it.
Aha.
Maybe the eyes too? I don't know.
Yeah. The eyes.
The eyes, is there something else?
Well, okay, so there was another thing, but it's covered by the jacket. The end of the motorcycle were kind of look like the wings.
Oh, right there.
But it's covered up, yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, apart from like this was not really kind of, I just did it on accident. I was like, oh wait, but like the two little swoops on the hair kind of make me think of like the little ears going like whoop.
This one?
Yeah, but that's kind of just me.
Yeah, it's kind of subtle. It should be something a bit more
Yeah, originally I wanted to do something way more pronounced, but
yeah.
I kind of forgot about it.
It can just be a small bump in the hair. It does not need to be like some devilish horns.
Yeah.
But overall, with the eyes and stuff like that, it's good. For the eyes, you might check at the... Might check at some... I'm pretty sure you have some zooms on some owl's eyes. These ones are not the biggest one, but you see there's a lot of black around.
Okay, yeah.
Like there's a lot. And there are often some kind of patterns of black. So maybe with some kind of... maybe she was...
some cool makeup.
Yeah, it can be some cool makeup, but also it could be some kind of stains and grease.
Oh, yeah. Or even from the goggles, like I leave a mark and some patterns.
Yeah, you have the goggles and maybe you still have some stains around like that. And it shows the goggles. Maybe there are some stains on the arms too. So maybe she rubbed her arm around her face, something like that. And there are some stains. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
It must look kind of organic, so no symmetry at all and stuff like that. But you can pretty much get it working this way.
Okay.
For the helmet, it reminds me of the owl in Watchmen.
Which one? Because I know at some point I was looking up for like owl references, and I
this
found
one in Watchmen.
Yeah.
Which is basically Batman but owl, but that's another point.
Owl man. Dun, dun.
So I think we have the shapes. Oh, and this is the clouds right there.
Yeah, I forgot about that, but yeah. I had struggled so much for like the design of the head of the motorcycle. I had done like so many different iterations.
Yeah, I think it's kind of good. You can have the beak go a bit at the towards the bottom, I think. But this way it's good too. So I don't mind. You can have the horns right there too. You see?
Oh yeah.
It's kind of good. I think for the lamps, I don't have the exact name in English.
Yeah, the headlights.
Yeah, the headlight. It might have some. It might be a bit receding inside. Because for now it seems to be stuck, and it's probably a bit inside, a bit carved. This way you have this kind of carved appearance for the eyes, as if it was set in the sockets. You see right there?
Yeah.
There's some kind of a big eyebrows. Especially you have the big eyebrows that goes towards the ears, so maybe you can paint them in black actually. See all that part. It's up to you.
All that. Yeah, for sure.
But maybe some kind of options.
Cast a little shadow, and boom.
Maybe some receding part right there. So you have all white light. So let's put it kind of white. So it's kind of receding inside. Yeah, well, that's pretty cool.
I'm just wondering if the stream can catch on to the ultimate, Easter egg that I put in this design. It's I just wonder where it is.
You're borderline doxing some information right there.
No.
Anyways, I'm not really sure about that part. In terms of design with the cloud, it's a bit different from everything else in terms of shapes.
Okay.
So I'm not very sure.
Someone in the chat.
I got doxed. Got fucking doxed. Gonna get my revenge. I swear, if one of the teachers figure that out, you are the only one explaining that shit, okay? I don't want
Don't worry,
any
I will.
trouble with that.
No, don't worry, don't worry.
The owl master in her pants, oh my god. Oh my god. What the fuck is going on?
Nani?
Well, yeah, I'm not very sure about that shape, to be honest. It's a bit strange compared to the rest that is pretty
round.
round
Sharp
and sharp and aggressive. This one is a bit more organic. So not really sure.
Maybe I can rework it because I do like the idea of the claws on the wheels, but maybe I can find a way to make it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It might also be the beak, you see, because you have that part too. It kind of looks like the beak. It might be a way to think about that. But there needs to be a bit of trial and error on that one, I guess.
Yeah.
But that part, yeah, you have the wings. That's kind of cool. It might also be the tail.
Yeah, it was supposed to be the tail and the wings, basically, just like the body, basically.
Yeah. The tail is not that. It's not that specific. It's kind of generic, but there are some nice pattern in general. So you might have some nice stuff.
I could add a little something.
My god, those colors, those are crazy.
Yeah.
Some with the fluff. I'm sorry, but this looks like my cat.
It does look like your cat.
I keep saying that owls are like cats with feathers, but just my opinion.
Even bigger eyes.
My cat will definitely have that face.
Your cat already does have that face. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Anyways. So for that part, maybe trying the tail stuff, I'm not sure. Something a bit more round. The different fuzz we might try. Or something very aggressive, maybe looking a bit more like the wings. Different ways to give it a try, I think.
Yeah, to explore that.
Other than that, for the character, I think that she's kind of missing some tools.
Okay.
Because we see that she has been repairing and she has some dirt and stains and she has been sitting on her knees for a while. So maybe having some wrenches, some tools, some kind of tool belt, maybe a bag. I don't know, maybe some kind of bag right there. Or maybe even, I don't know, covering that part, I don't know why.
Oh, I wonder why.
With some wrenches. I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
Depending on what you want, but having some kind of bag or maybe some pockets. You see she has some kind of pockets, so maybe there's a wrench, something like that.
Yeah. True.
Maybe you can make a wrench stuck. Yeah, I don't know. It's up to you to try.
Just coming out of her pants.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but maybe there's a backpack. You see that there's like a strap right there.
And then she has a little few wrenches sticking out. Yeah.
Yeah, and you have some kind of bag in the background that is open with some stuff. Of course, make sure it doesn't break the silhouette.
Yeah, I think that might break the silhouette.
Yeah, again, you just need to give a trial at different places and see what works. But yeah, adding on the storytelling part with some wrenches, some stains at some point, maybe some fingerprints on the different parts. Maybe some of them are white, but the bike is definitely not clean, so you can go a bit deeper on that.
And yeah, Novell
I
made a good point about protection, which she had originally had knee guards.
Yeah.
But I took them off because I think I forgot about them when it came to like a rendering. But yeah, maybe I should add a little something,
I mean,
some shin guards or something.
Yeah, she kind of looks like she has been sitting on her knees without the kneecaps because it's pretty red right now. And there's a bit of blood and stuff like that. So that's kind of fine for the rubber stuff. I will add the small detail of having one sock that is completely up and the other one that is kind of folded. This is something that you see a lot with some punk style and stuff like that. With maybe a tattoo or something like that, I don't know. Like the scars.
Okay.
Not very sure about the neck right there. It's kinda... Seems kinda thick compared to the rest of the face, but I'm not sure. There's something kind of weird. But it might be the pose too. If you have some good references about that, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, I'll revisit my...
Aside from that, the rendering of the shiny, sweaty arms and stuff like that is pretty good.
Thank you.
Pretty good. For the clothes, I think you should try a bit of photo bashing.
It is photo bashed.
Just for the texture, not for the clothes itself.
Okay.
Because it looks a bit soft. Same for the short. It's looking a bit... I mean, it works when we are de-zoomed. But when we are zooming on it, we know it's been painted. So the folds and stuff like that are kind of a bit soft and need a bit more details, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
Plus you need to have the stitches. You see there would be the when the clothes is coming back and you are stitching that, it's a bit thicker. You need to have some lines probably inside. It has been stitched from the inside. So different stuff. Same with the pocket right there. Need to see how it's integrated in the rest of the fabric. Stuff like that. And same with all the details like the belts, the goggle, the way the goggles are attached. It's just about either finding references and adding the extra small details, or else you can put a bit of photo bashing and paint over it.
Okay.
Aside from that, that's pretty good.
Okay, cool.
Any other stuff?
I don't think so. Can I ask for... Should I ask for a second review on my Nun? Or is it not worth it?
As you want. If there are some part that needs to be censored, just censor them before, please.
No. Nothing has to be censored.
Okay.
Just completely PG-13.
Okay, so send it if you want.
Let's see. You know what? Why not? It's finished, and I probably won't come back to it, but who knows? It's still built safely. Bada boom. Okay, there we go.
Here we go. There we go. So yeah, I see there have been some changes, like the cut fingers, the fingernails that are a bit more devilish. Same with the foot. I like the detail, this detail of the destroyed shoe. That's kind of nice. So I like those details of the scratches too. That's kind of nice. Still not convinced by the clothing. Again, it's not about the clothing itself, it's just about the amount of detail compared to the rest.
Okay.
Like the corset is a bit too simple in my opinion. It needs some kind of folding.
Okay.
Again, it's just about getting some references or slightly photo bashing the things, and with the folds of the seems to be some kind of nylon, not nylon, latex, or similarly leather robe. So you just need some reference for the wrinkles and the different folds, because we understand what it is. It's just that when we are zooming on, which is very nitpicky, let's admit that, by the way. But when we are zooming, it's like, oh, it's painting. We would like to see more details, basically.
Okay.
Aside from that, that's kind of good. You see that you have fixed that part, which is working. I think this is a bit too pointy. That's just my grain of salt.
But pointy boobies.
I don't know. That's up to you. I just think it's a bit sharp, but that's up to you. The rest of the face is pretty nice. She's looking like a real psycho. So nice. Same with the symbol, with the inverted cross. I don't remember what kind of symbol this is. But
yeah, so this character design is Adnishiel. So basically, when the gates of hell opened, the demons kind of came out, and poor Sister Jude here just got possessed by Adnishiel, and so Adnishiel is the demon of the hunt.
Okay. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense with the clouds and stuff like that.
Not a very nice person or nice demon.
To go more on the beast aspect, something I will try will be to suggest maybe some kind of fur in the back. I don't know if you played Iron, but some details that I love. Please don't give me some shitty fan art. Thank you. As you see, the Asmodeans in Iron, they have this kind of tail in the back. Which is so cool!
Yeah.
This is so freaking cool because it's like short, and then nearby the middle of the back, it becomes a tail. This is so freaking cool.
Yeah. Nice. Okay.
So without going that far, maybe just suggesting some kind of fur in the back to go like on the werewolf side and stuff like that might be something worth trying, I guess. And again, it's subtle, so you just see it only if you zoom on it and you figure that out. So maybe you also have a bit right there.
Okay.
Maybe falling a bit. You need to make it very dark to not make it look like the entire back is hairy, basically.
Just super hairy.
Yeah, so avoid that. But maybe something very subtle like that. That does not look like a melee, please.
Oh, come on. Mullets can be hot.
No.
Oh, come on.
Nope. Oh, yeah, you can give a try at that. It might be fun. And yeah, I kind of like the rest. Pretty nice. Yeah, pretty cool. And just this part. This line is maybe a bit too straight. It tends to be a bit rigid, I guess. So maybe having it flowing a bit more at some point might be worth it, but you will figure that out.
Okay.
Even if it's kind of
contrast with the flowiness.
Yeah. It's not the problem. It's just that there is like a big straight line and it tends to make everything rigid. And I know it's some kind of heavy stuff. It seems to be similar leather. There still needs to be a bit of flex in it.
Okay, cool.
Aside from that, yeah, good. Nice.
Okay. Oh well, thank you for all the feedback.
Good job, soldier. Anyway.
Okay. Well, good luck with the rest of the stream. Well, I'll be here anyways.
Thanks.
Okay,
I will do the review for Scroll now.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah. So Cannot join the call. The microphone does not work. That's fine. But if feedback is possible, I'd like to appreciate it. Right now, it's just a sketch phase. It's about a Japanese master painting who is sitting in his studio doing some work. The keyframe should be conveying a feeling of peace and serenity. Not sure if the scene is understood so far. And the composition looks good. I am focusing on achieving good composition and not so much a finished illustration. No judgment, please. No problem. There won't be any judgment. So you have the story. So there's the cat. There's the scroll with the ink. It's kind of looking zen. I'm assuming if it was a finished piece, there will be some kind of light right there. Coming from right there, probably. Something like that, I guess. Which is fine. We have some small guardrails with the plant, stuff like that. I'm assuming there's some incense flowing, so it would be kind of misty, kind of foggy. So with the mist of the fog, you have some very nice guardrails. It's a bit more silhouetted, as if it was maybe a sunset, something like that. So it's kind of good. Something that might be nice would be to have some kind of lantern right there, I guess. Some kind of source of light. This way you have a big silhouette for the guy. It's kind of lit with some kind of lantern or something like that. Some candles nearby. This way is lit from below. And you can see the silhouette. You can see the warmth of the light. This is just an ID, by the way. It might be kind of cool. In terms of details, this entire space right there is very busy, which is nice. This part is kind of more quiet. So I would like this part to kind of help in the composition to focus on that part. Something you could do is with the sheet. Maybe they are pointing towards the guy. Instead of being pointing at no direction at all. So maybe something more like this. The overall is pointing towards the character, you see? You have the light right there. So basically, if you are showing the composition, it would be something like... I think there's something strange in your composition. It's like we are either starting from here and going outside, which is kind of fine. Or moving there, then going away, which is kind of weird. I think something we should have would be something like this. We are kind of escaping from there. Because we need to basically see the entire scene when we are reading it. And for now, it's just... I mean, it's just like a V, like that. So we are seeing that part. But the rest does not catch that much attention. See what I mean? So same, maybe you have a bit of candles right there. This is just an example with the candles. But basically this is leading towards the character. And now we have everything flowing towards the character. And then you can escape right there. See what I mean? Maybe you also have some candles right there. So there's some kind of circle around the character. It's lighting the place evenly with that warmth and the glow. And basically, we see kind of everything is like a wave. And then we escape by the windows and maybe there's like a tree or like a silhouette of a tree, something like that. And you also have the god rays. See what I mean? Okay, it's very zen. You have the statue, you have the incense. So if you are polishing that, don't hesitate to have this very foggy and misty atmosphere. Let's try to find something like that. What's the name of Un jour dans eau. Au jour dans eau. I'm pretty sure this guy will have some pretty nice references of misty stuff. Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, this is too much. For example, we can pick this one. You see this kind of misty atmosphere in the end. I know it's a bit darker and not as welcoming. But you have this kind of misty and smoky because the guy is smoking a lot inside. You have this kind of smoky atmosphere. It's pretty cool. Same with that one. You see you have this dust floating. Pretty sure you see what I mean. And with that one, even though that's outside, you still have a bit of mist, like the misty morning. So it's pretty cool. And with this one, the atmosphere. So you can pretty much use that to get that smoky and incensey atmosphere inside. It will work pretty well. Any other question about your composition? Yeah, basically make sure everything is flowing right there. And generally what you want to do in composition is you never want to go back and forth in your composition. You don't want to do like foreground, background, and then this. You never want to do this. Because you need to basically exit the composition at some point, and if you finish there, you are stuck. And even if you go there, it's not natural. You want something that is flowing through the picture and going outside. So generally you can have the room as one. It's flowing. The character too. Then this part is free. Does that answer your question? You're welcome. Anyone needing some feedbacks, having some question about whatever you want art related? Or should I end up the stream right now? In any case, feel free to subscribe. Feel free to join the Discord if you want more of that. And get informed on when the streams are going. Feel free also to recommend the stream to people who you think might find it useful. Might be in person, it might be on Discord, stuff like that. We're trying to build a nice community. Still waiting like 30 seconds. If there's no other question, we're gonna stop the stream. Tomorrow is Friday. I'm going to do another presentation. I have no idea what it will be about, but it will be a nice presentation. We'll see. And you will see on Discord what is the subject once I figure that out. Anyways, thanks a lot for coming. There was a bunch of newcomers, which is amazing. I really hope it will evolve this way. If you want to watch the replay, you can check it on YouTube. YouTube, The Art Nest, and you check out the different stuff, you might be able to find it. There's the same icon as on Twitch. Feel free to join the Discord. Feel free to join tomorrow again. Feel free to get involved in the community. Anyways, take care, guys. And see you tomorrow. Oh, any artists for mood? Any artists for mood? Jama is very good for mood. Jama Jurabaev is very good. Any Naughty Dog artist like Roman Giordano, Florent Lebrun, Dana Warrior, Shelly Safadi, John Sweeney, Aaron Limonick. They're pretty good for mood. But yeah, Jamat, in my opinion, is the best one for mood. When we were in the mentorship, he was always telling us you need to hear and feel the picture. You need to hear the sounds of the picture. You need to feel the overall vibe, the warmth, the cold. You need to hear the sounds. Let's say you're looking at that picture. You can pretty much hear everything. You can hear the shore. You can hear the seagulls. You can hear the wind on the leaves. You can feel the salt of the water. The fresh wind. You can smell the fire. Feel the sand. You can feel the cold and the mist and the kind of wet atmosphere right there. Stuff like that. This is so good. It's so freaking good. Can't wait to do his tutorials. That picture. Okay, you can almost smell. I mean, it's in game, but you can almost smell the algae and the stuff like that. The moss. You can smell the debris, the bones of the whales. Salt water. Probably smelling like rotten fish. It's pretty cool. There are some snow or some moss. You can feel the wind. Oh my god, the shapes are so good. Damn. Okay, so good. Anyways, so yeah, Roman Giordano, Jama, and every artist working on The Last of Us 2, like Jet Saber, Florent Lebrun, Dana Warrior, John Sweeney, guys like that. They are pretty good at mood. Anyways, this time I'm going. Take care, guys.